You do, because people can read on it, and this is a very hard job to have, because even on your worst days you have to still put a smile on your face. But I would tell people that really stick with it, because for me it took me 2 tries to become Miss Connecticut, and then it took a lot of hard work to be Miss USA. So if you have the passion for something and you really believe in your heart that you're made to do something, even if you fall down 15 times, that is a reason. You're learning more and more each time that you fall. So take all of it and run with it, because if this year proved anything to me, it's that if I want to do anything in my life, I can do it. So I really think that if you love something and you're passionate about it and you have the oomph behind it, run with it, because life is way too short to just have what ifs and what if I did that or what if I did this. Run with it. Take risks and put yourself out there, because from my finance degree, I learned greater risk equals greater return. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
I know we have some great comments, Stephen. Can we highlight some of the
absolutely.
comments? Oh, that would be great. There was an early one, and it's just very sweet. Let's see.
I'm just bringing mine up to say, I'm just saying, there's public support for this idea, Erin. Yeah?
I love it. Hashtag Miss Multiverse.
Exactly. Look, I'm telling you, we're onto something here.
I love it. That is so cute.
And there was a nice one too from from Kim Boltram.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if you and other contestants keep in touch afterward.
I do. I roomed with Miss Delaware, and she moved to Australia, of all places, and we actually have been chatting all week, because she's asking me, remember last year that this time when we were waiting till 2 in the morning to get spray tan? It's like so random. But the beauty of social media is I've been able to really keep in touch with about, I'd say, at least half of the contestants that I competed with, because, I don't know, it's great if you can still have relationships. You spent so much time with these girls and experienced this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if you can keep in touch, you're like the representative of their class. So a lot of them are coming to see me give up my crown, and I'm excited to see them.
Mia, I think you had a question.
I do. I have one from Ammon Johns. What is the single greatest thing that you've been able to bring attention to in your year as Miss USA? That's a great question.
Yeah, I think, honestly, what I wanted to break the stereotype of a lot of pageant girls, and I know that sounds so cliche, but when people ask me, like, oh, what was your goal for the year? Well, of course, the charity and all the great things that I've been able to do, but I love hearing, oh, you're not what we expected you to be. When I hear that, my smile gets kicked up to a bigger notch, because I love that people can see that we're relatable and we're funny and we have a sense of humor and we're normal human beings, because so many people hear that you're Miss USA or Miss America or whatever title you may carry, and they automatically put this guard up of like, oh, they already have a preconceived notion as to what kind of person you are. And when I leave meetings and groups and I have people say, you're not what we expected you to be, I'm like, yes. I did it.
That's fantastic.
Michael.
Yes, question from Carmen Rojas. Question to Miss USA. Any advice for parents of little girls who want to get into pageants?
My advice would be, if your little girl wants to be in pageants, then you could absolutely do so. But if it's somebody else's dream that they're trying to make their little daughter be in pageants, then I don't necessarily think that's the best thing to do. But I think if the little girl loves it and wants to be in it, I think it's a great industry to be in. I think it's really showcases so many great things, public speaking and self-confidence, and it really teaches you a lot about yourself and about how to interact with people. It teaches you a lot about just yourself and meeting other people and traveling. So I think it's a great thing to do, but as long as they have an interest in it and their heart is in it, I think it's great.
Now, before we get back to Michael's question, Martin, you're going to be leaving, I understand, in just a couple of minutes. So obviously you have a big question.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, so when people meet you, do you find that they're nervous at all, Erin?
think it depends on who it is. I see a lot of girls get very shy and bashful, but then I get right down to their level. I get down on my hands and knees, and I hug them, and I laugh, and I make jokes, and I try to take any kind of nervousness away, because what they don't know is I still get butterflies and nerves when I'm thrown into a room of 50 people that I don't necessarily know, because you don't know their reaction to you, whether it's going to be a little quiet or they're going to be excited. So it's kind of a mutual nervousness, but I hope very quickly that when I meet them that I can just kind of break the ice and let them get relaxed and enjoy themselves.
How about guys?
I was just going to say, who have you met where you've been really nervous then? I mean, I just wondered, is there one person that you had butterflies before you met?
Well, when I first won and got to go back to New York, I kind of got thrown into walking a real red carpet for the premiere of The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. So I'm like on this red carpet after 2 weeks of competing in a pageant, and here I was standing next to Sandra Bullock like, oh my God, I was really, I had butterflies because I never in my life had met anybody famous, and to meet people of that caliber, I was really taken back, and it was really cool to be mingling with them, but I'm pretty good at covering up the fact that I'm nervous. I talk a lot in general, but when I get nervous, I talk even more. So,
Michael, I'll think of another question.
Yeah, that's a fantastic segue into this one from Kevin Burns. Since you have likely had the opportunity to meet various famous superstars, folks, since winning the Miss USA title, who did you meet from this group of people that made you feel like you were the luckiest or happiest girl on earth? I think that's a good question.
To be honest, it's not even necessarily the famous people, because they meet so many people every day that they have to be like pleasant and happy. I think it's the people that think that I'm the famous one that really make me feel more special, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make. Now, do you have a question for any one of us by chance? I mean,
I do. Yeah. I want to know, like, how you got interested in talking to Miss USA. Like, how did this whole thing come to be? I think it's fascinating, and I'm so glad that I've had a chance to do it twice, because this is very cool. But I love that people like yourselves are very interested in kind of integrating with this crazy pageant world here.
Well, you see, what happened was I got an email from Donald Trump, and he asked me to contact y'all, and I'm just teasing about the Trump.
Oh my God! I said, wow.
but no, what happened was I did get an email, telling us that y'all were going to be in the state for the pageant, and so. Basically, I just went to my friends here and said, hey, think about what we can do with this. I mean, because you're such an incredible person.
Thank you. I'm so glad. No, I've really, really enjoyed this. It's been cool to be able to get to meet people that I don't even have to necessarily be in the same room with. People around here are looking at me saying, why are you talking to your computer?
It's the magic of Hangouts. That's why we do this.
Great. So I also wanted to ask, because you're so up with the technology, are you ever overwhelmed by how quickly technology is transforming, or because it's so you're so
every week?
Yeah, I'm thinking almost sometimes daily. Depends on how much I find out in a day.
But you know what? One of the biggest tips is if you realize you don't break it, you just keep poking at it, eventually it'll work out. That'll take a lot of the pressure away, and I think a lot of young people know that. Some of the people that are a little more older are afraid, and you just you just can't be afraid, otherwise it'll move and you'll never catch up.
You know, what's really interesting, if I might add, and that is that a lot of people think that it's the younger generation who is hip. I got to tell you, on Google Plus and Hangouts and all, you will find that it's people who are my age, God forbid, but maybe a decade, 2 decades younger, older. So I think we've really made a tremendous gain. And I think that you as Miss USA and in the future, in terms of the financing background, you could really help out this particular industry tremendously, and we really encourage you to do so.
Thank you. I certainly will. I think it's great. I mean, I'm, again, bringing up my grandmother, but the fact that she was so scared to be getting involved with Facebook, and now the lady's on there 24/7. So I think it's just so cool to see how they find it to be very easy. She has her iPad mini, and she does online banking and navigates around it sometimes better than I do. So I think it's great to see that even people like my grandparents are really catching on.
I love it.
Let's see, Ronnie, you have a question.
Real quick.
Stephen.
Yeah, I was just actually that's what I was just going to say is that things are changing like all the time, but the trend seems to be toward as natural as humanly possible. Like
right.
Ronnie uses the expression like the technology is going away. So if from a technical standpoint, some of these things are they get annoying, but by and large, as long as you're doing your thing and you're just being you and being authentic, that's going to last months, years, decades.
Right.
So, which is a good thing because that's real easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely.